Good. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm here with Steven from Stronghold Games, and we're just going to go over some of your new stuff and then maybe some new versions of things that have been out.
Absolutely. That sounds great. Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. So at the show, what we're doing is we're premiering a couple of brand new games. Lost Temple just came out last month. In Lost Temple, if you know Citadels, which is a very popular game from about 10 or so years ago, Bruno Faidutti came out, used that role selection mechanic in now a racing game. So in Citadel, in Lost Temple, you're now racing Indiana Jones style. You're playing kind of the Indiana Jones character, racing through the jungle with the help of various guides. So instead of an assassin here, you have a shaman who's going to be able to magically transport you forward. You have the scout where you pay gems. That's the currency of the game to move that many spaces forward. The elder will move you to the villages. So various characters help you in various ways as you race through to get to the Lost Temple. As you can see, right now we have a group of family playing here. So it's a really great family game. It's the kind of game that if you like Survive, kind of like that little cutthroat thing, you're going to really like Lost Temple too. So so far sold very well in the first month. I think we're going to have a lot of success with this game.
Great. Yeah. It looks great.
Let's keep moving over, I guess, right?
Yeah. We'll need to ask these guys. Are you guys okay if you're in like the video?
It's a BoardGameGeek video.
Cool.
Yeah, we're on the website.
Okay, cool.
Who doesn't like BoardGameGeek, right?
Thank you. All right. Moving on along.
Well, let's quickly talk about, hey, how's it going? Quickly talk about Confusion. Confusion actually came out in a pre-release last Origins. We had it here, and it was a huge success. People were talking about it all over the convention. We're still selling it, still selling well. As you can see, another family playing it. This game works very well with nice bright kids, and couples really seem to like this game quite a bit. And those who don't 100% know, people have called it inverse stratego. But what this is you have to deduce how to manipulate your spies, because you don't know how they move in the beginning of the game, to get to the center briefcase, the top secret briefcase, and bring it to the other side of the board. And as you're trying to make your moves, your opponent is telling you if the move is illegal or not. So each time you try to make a move, if it's successful, you make the move. If it's not, you get information anyway. You're making those moves to get across the board. And there's a double agent working against you, so you're never 100% sure if you're actually getting using the person in the way that you need to do to make your objective.
Great.
Let's head over to Revolver.
All right.
Oh, he can't move. No one playing Revolver at the moment, but we've had a lot of action on Revolver. Revolver is another new game, just came out last month. This is a 2-player Wild West shootout game. In Revolver, the culty gang has just robbed the bank at Repentant Springs, which is the first battlefield of the game, and Colonel McReady and the lawmen on the other side of the table have to try to fight the culty gang, and they must kill, we actually use the word kill, so it's a violent game. You must kill all of the culty gang before they reach the 315 express train at a Rattlesnake Station and escape. And there's other escape mechanisms for the culty gang, which is getting through the Mexican border, which is those red cubes there. If all those cubes come off the Mexican border card, Jack Culty and his gang, or some of his gang, have escaped via the Mexican border. So one-on-one Wild West shootout, very asymmetrical game. The decks are completely different for both sides. On the culty gang side, you literally are eliminating each one of the gang members, starting from the bottom, the 0-numbered characters, all the way up to Jack Culty himself. Jack Culty, he's the guy who's got to survive to get off to win, or if you can get through the Mexican border, he wins. And the lawmen, what they've got to do is get rid of all the gang members. Really, really good game, just came out, and it's very successful so far for us.
Awesome. Core Worlds?
Set it up, or you want to just...
Let's see.
Nice. Tony? I mean, Final Core's way here.
That's it.
Interrupt this video. Do I know you? No, I just know your voice. I'm sorry. I hear every other interview I listen to.
All right. Here's Core Worlds, and Core Worlds came out at Essen last year. and has been really, really flying. People have been calling it Deck Building 2.0, and we just announced an expansion for Core Worlds, which will come out at next Essen. So very, very, very good game for us. Andrew Parks, the designer, did a great job. He's used deck building as a mechanic in the game, not the mechanic in the game. Core Worlds is also very thematic. The galactic empire at the center of the galaxy has crumbled, and now you, as a small spacefaring nation on the fringes of the galaxy, are now gobbling up technologies and planets as you make your way toward that center of the galaxy where the best worlds are, the core worlds. And once you get there, you're then going to be, if you get there with the most empire points, you become the galactic empire, and emperor of the empire. And the game has done very well again, so it's really doing well, and we're going to be expanding this and supporting this game in the long run.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
And Survive, of course. Okay, I'll just keep going.
Okay, being on camera? A little bit? Okay, cool.
This is BoardGameGeek TV here. And Survive is now back out again in a 30th anniversary edition. We were actually out of stock on Survive. We sold a lot, 10,000 copies of it last year. We went out of print for a while. We now have a very big print partner in Europe who's doing all the European languages, Asmodee. They're like the biggest publisher in Europe. And we're doing all of North American English rights on the game. And of course, I barely need to tell much about Survive because it's so popular. You need to get your people off of the central island of Atlantis and onto any one of the 4 outer islands. But it's going to be a very perilous journey getting there because you're going to meet up with sharks who are going to eat the people, whales which are going to sink boats, creating swimmers, and sea serpents, which just are the big bad guys, and they just eat everything. The people in the boats, the people outside the boats themselves. Cool. Survive has done very well, of course, for us, and we're going to be getting the game actually back into Barnes & Noble this year, and maybe even into other mass market venues as well. And in our 30th anniversary edition, we've actually reduced the price by $10, just so that we can get it out there to more and more people, because the families are really loving this game, as well as like light strategy gamers as well.
Great. Yeah. Maybe I can just ask you a couple questions about, I guess, Space Cadets. Is that coming up, and is there a timeline on that?
Yeah, Space Cadets is going to be that Jeff Engelstein game that we announced a few months ago. Again, that's an Essen release for us, so it'll be end of year in the US. And for those who don't know what Space Cadets is, it's almost a party game for gamers. Each person is going to be playing a different officer on the bridge of the starship. Sort of some non-IP related kind of starship. So the captain's going to be giving out the orders, his energy. Basically, he's going to distribute energy to the various players. The helmsman's got to play his mini game to steer the ship, which is going to be kind of like a robo-rally mechanic. The weapons officer has got to do a flicking mechanic to shoot the torpedoes. So each station has a different little mini game mechanic to keep the ship running, to deal with the nemesis that shows up. And there are going to be mission cards, so that each game is going to play very differently. And it's a real-time game where you in real time have to do that in 30 seconds, and then you figure out exactly what happened, where the ship went, did you actually shoot it at the right target, and things like that. So yeah, a lot of fun. Pretty crazy and chaotic kind of game that we think is going to be a very big hit, with gamers at game party type places. Yep.
Great. I just wanted to ask a little bit. I know we spoke a little bit about Toy Fair about this. Your iOS plans or your other digital plans for your games?
Yeah, we've had some delays in getting the iOS Android version of Survive out. I actually spoke with the guy who's doing the work for us just this week, and it looks like it's going to be a third quarter release, hopefully early third quarter. We actually, in the box of Survive, we have a little coming soon on iOS and Android. A little advertisement there, so we're definitely going to be getting this out in the relatively near future. We also have somebody working on a Confusion iOS Droid game as well, and that's going to be a great, easy game to implement on that platform too. So, and we're talking to some other people about some other games as well, but no other solid plans for those yet.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Brad. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, and thanks, Chad, who's on the camera.